My name is Randy Graves, and I'm the Cisco instructor for the Ccna program here at Hofstra, continuing ed. I teach the Cisco Part 1 and Part 2 courses. My background has been 40 years I've been in the IT field. I started out as a systems analyst for NCR, moved on to be an assembler programmer, and in the last 20 years I've been involved in the networking field, in particular Cisco. I came together with Hofstra a number of years ago, and we decided to offer students that were interested in the Cisco certification to enroll in the Cisco CCNA Part 1 and Part 2 courses. Over the time that I've been teaching this course, we tend to focus on the most challenging topics within the CCNA program, many of which will prepare the student not only for the certification exam, but also for passing the interview, which is most important. The industry today has a statement that is well known. Students tend to think that certification is all that is needed, but the statement in the industry today is students are sometimes certified but not qualified. And we attempt to make the student not only certified but also qualified to do the job that they would be hired to do. The CCNA Part 1 class is to prepare the student for being able to read network diagrams, use iOS commands to configure the routers in the network diagram, learning about IP version for IP addressing, subnetting, routing protocols, static routes, and a variety of protocols that are not very well known to people who are not in the industry. The Part 2 class continues to talk about the more challenging courses and topics, which is Cisco has a number of proprietary protocols, one of them being CDP, BTP. We will focus on those protocols because, of course, we're taking the Cisco exam, and it pays to pay attention to the Cisco proprietary protocols. We also will learn about, in Part 2, the spanning tree protocol, access control list, which is a method of securing a network in addition to using firewalls, as well as the NAT and PAT protocols. And we tend to end the course discussing single area OSPF, which is a routing protocol. Well, the coursework involves quite a bit of study time. I suggest to students using index cards and to study pieces of the materials that are covered each class period. And we constantly engage whiteboard sessions. A whiteboard session involves discussing the topics that have been covered and trying to get feedback and participation from the students to ensure that they have a grasp on what we're discussing, because this has a building effect. We have to start with the basic fundamentals and build on those fundamentals. I suggest this, and I recommend this, is each person would take the Cisco Part 1 course, study my notes and the material that has been covered in that course. Then they can go to the Cisco website and look at the recommended 2-volume Cisco CCNA certification textbook. Purchase that textbook, but hold it until you've actually covered and begin mastering the Cisco Part 2 information. At the end of completing Cisco Part 1 and Cisco Part 2, I suggest that the student then start to read the first volume of Cisco CCNA textbook, and then at that point, if they feel comfortable, take the first half of the exam. You can take one half of the exam and the second half of the exam, and the 2 exams, if they are passed, will result in you being a CCNA. Or you can take it at one time, but I suggest that we break it up into 2. And then you would take the second book that is offered for Cisco Part 2, read the material in that book, study, and when you're ready, take the second half of the exam. And at the end of passing that second half, you will be a CCNA. Well, we do hands-on lab exercises that will help reinforce some of the concepts that we'll be covering in Part 1 and Part 2. The hands-on is typically not as essential. Today there are packet tracers and other tools that can be used that are on laptop computers. I think the most important thing is to be sure you understand what the configuration commands are actually doing, rather than focus on how to do this and how to do that on the router. You want to know what you're actually doing. For anyone that's interested in seeking a career in the world of Cisco networking, I think this is a great opportunity to get a real good grasp on the CCNA topics that will prepare that student not only for passing the exam, but also being able to pass the interview once they go and look for a job in the field.